Hello, my name is Ewan and welcome to Eye of Gnosis Tarot, and this is the start of a new series on the Thoth Tarot deck, which is arguably the tarot deck, at least in my practice, because the symbolism within the cards it's very deep. There's a hell of a lot of mysticism and perennial philosophy spread across the deck. And gives a much greater depth and extent of understanding as well within the tarot and its spiritual, psychological and philosophical basis, and let's just throw in metaphysical in there too. So we will be going through the entire deck, starting with the Wands, the suit of Wands, which is associated with the element of fire, the alchemical element, and which is essentially energy. So fire is, in our material universe, is energy. And as always, we start right at the beginning, and we start with the Ace of Wands. So here we see a angular torch reaching out from the card as a flaming beacon of energy. 10 tongues of fire issue forth from the torch, and from these we see green lightning bolts striking outwards. The colours of the fire element dominate this card, comprising of these luscious yellows, oranges, reds, and a little bit of white. The Ace of Wands is the first card of the Minor Arcana. So these are the number cards of the tarot. And it is the first card of the first suit, as we said at the beginning, that being the suit of Wands. Wands represent the alchemical element of fire, as we have said, incorporating the signs of Aries, Leo and Sagittarius in respective maturity. The wands can be, as I said before, translated in a secular context as energy. And that's energy in its most universal sense. All aces represent beginnings in one form or another, and they are the throne of their suit. And we'll come to that more when we go to the court cards, and explain a bit more what I mean by the throne of the suit. But suffice to say, for now, it's where the entire suit and the court cards come from. As such, the Ace of Wands is the ultimate beginning. It is the first card of the tarot. That's why we're starting here, funnily enough. It is the spark, the 1 to the 0, the first thing thinging, the alpha, the word of God, the first moment of existence, and the first particle in the void that ignited the entirety of creation. So this is quite a big deal, this card. In the Thoth Tarot, we see all this symbolism inherent within Lady Harris's beautiful work of art. The torch has a striking and very intentional resemblance to the Tree of Life from Kabbalah, and it is this from which the entire tarot is based upon and is found within. The Tree of Life in Kabbalah is the structure of the universe. It is the psyche, the makeup of consciousness, or God, as some people call it. Each tongue of flame we see here leaps out from one of the Sephirot of the Tree of Life. And the Sephirot are emanations or dimensions of existence, elements of consciousness, essentially. And as we work through the Minor Arcana, you will see that each of these dimensions of consciousness and existence, they each are attributed to a number, and there is a purpose behind this. It is to do with Platonic solids and how numbers have inherent qualities to them, at least 1 to 9 especially. So, the uppermost Sephiro, Kether, is the crown, and it is here that we find the aces of the tarot, and as you can see, it's the largest flame here on the card. Yet these aren't just ordinary flames, these are actually the yods. Yod is the 10th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and the first letter of Yahweh, the traditional word for God in Hebrew myth, Hebrew legend, and this is intentional, as the 10th letter in the first card, it is bringing the end and the beginning together. It is the Alpha and the Omega. And when we get to the 10 of Wands, we will see why 10 is the end. And that is represented down at the bottom here by the smallest flame, Malkuth, but more on that when we come to the 10 of Wands. So Yahweh actually has a meaning behind it. It's not just the traditional name for God, and it's especially poignant having these yods here on the Ace of Wands, because Yahweh means to cause to become. At least that's the most popular translation. To cause to become. In other words, this is the first cause, the first thinging, if you remember what we said at the beginning. Before the Ace of Wands, there was literally no thing. And when we come to the Fool in the Major Arcana, the 0 card, we will explain a bit more what we mean by nothing, because it's not just as simple as emptiness, as we shall see when we come to that card. So the Ace of Wands is pure unbridled energy, the fire. Lady Harris has not only captured this concept within the card, but quite literally set the canvas alight with all this all-consuming energy. Every sacred flame ever lit in a temple, in celebration, that light bulb of an idea, the spark of inspiration, or simply a candle in the dark, can trace its origin to the Ace of Wands. Okay, now we're going to go to the Divinatory Interpretations of this card, and there will be a timestamp for this section if you want to skip ahead. I should have really said that at the beginning. We'll do that in the future, shall we? So, Divinatory Interpretations. In divination, the Ace of Wands primarily represents the beginning of a great energy, or the energy of a great beginning. It is initiative, passion, creation, creative destruction, and the original will that comes before emotion, feeling, or thought. It can point us towards new goals and movements in our energy, whether this is literal or metaphorical. When well dignified, that is the light aspect of this card, the Ace of Wands represents courage, assertiveness, potential, inspiration, breakthroughs, and creativity. When ill dignified, so its shadow aspect, this card can represent arrogance, exaggeration, recklessness, and impulsivity without any direction. The key word here is potential, for both harmony and disharmony. And as the source of all energy, the Ace of Wands is perhaps the most dependent on the intuitive knowledge of the reader when it comes to its potential at hand. By its very nature, this card must be felt in the context of a reading. What is the potential of the question of the querent? What is the potential of the querent? And really, the less we actually know, the better in terms of intuition. So what does it feel like, this card in a reading? So yes, that has been the Ace of Wands, the first card in the tarot. And if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, because there will be more coming very soon, please hit that like and subscribe buttons down there at the bottom and the little bell icon so you don't miss a future tarot card tutorial. And we'll also be doing tarot card readings on this channel for the different star signs each month, as well as me doing tutorials for how to do readings, not just the cards themselves, but this series is what I'm starting with, just to get us all up to scratch with what we're actually looking at when we're looking at a tarot reading. So yes, my name has been Ewan on the Eye of Gnosis Tarot, and thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, and may peace be with you. Goodbye.